This is News on Friday.
Hello everyone, this is News on Friday, broadcasting across the world from the Caleb TV studios at Egerton University, Kenya. I'm Caleb Koyo. The smartphone generation, smartphone ownership in Kenya and what it means economically. 12 years a chef, an exclusive interview with John Sabwa from the Caleb Cafe. Aga Khan Youth Empowerment, how the Aga Khan Foundation is impacting the youth at the coast. And later on in sports, bowlers profile, ladies embracing the green grass locally and internationally. The beam begins right now. Stay with us to the very end. Kenya's mobile penetration grew 11% between January 2020 and January 2021. There are only about 21.75 million internet users in Kenya as of January 2021, giving an internet penetration of just about 40%. Also, there are 11 million social media users in Kenya as of January 2021. The number of social media users in Kenya increased by 2.2 million between 2020 and 2021. There were 59.24 million mobile connections in Kenya as of January 2021, and there are more men owning smartphones in Kenya compared to women, giving them an added advantage of opportunities in the internet space. The number of smartphone ownership among men in 2020 went up 4% to 47% as compared to the 2019 ownership that was at 42%. Ownership among women stagnated at 32% where it was in 2019. What led to this stagnation and how can it be fixed? I spoke with Brenda Viola from Caleb Radio. So you were talking about coronavirus, and I was just going to that point right now. I think the impact has been crazy, and of course it's one of the reasons why people are saying, okay, this is happening right now. The economic impact of the COVID-19 has actually been felt, and we can argue now that the women have felt it more, or the men who are in town, the 28.2% of us who live in town have really felt this impact so much. So we are not able to provide for our women who are in the village. So even getting this, I can say smartphone is a basic stuff right now, especially after COVID-19. It's difficult. So we can blame this one again on COVID-19 safely.
Yeah. Still, again, it really goes back to saying how naturally and generally men are still the providers of the most families today. Hata kama unapata mwanamke anajituma, but the majority of the responsibility is still going to fall on the men. Now with COVID-19, people getting sacked, others losing their businesses, we're only trying to come back to where we were despite COVID-19. So men felt the impact mostly compared to...
And it's visible to their women, to their mothers, to their sisters, and everybody there around.
Yes, even to their children. It's still very, very visible. Because now you have a guy who has been staying in the city for a while, hustling for the family, amekuwa akitegemea kazi yake, whether it's mjengo, whether it is hoteli, whether it's taxi. And now COVID-19 came out, and jobs were lost. The economy was shut down for a while, and we're still experiencing this effects up to today. So by the time huyu jamaa apate that 4,400, it's a hustle. Unapata unang'ang'ana
unapata yes to think about some other things that are now pressing right now.
Yes, especially now we have rent, we have water, we have
food and all that.
We have transport. Making money is expensive in its own. So finding the extra 4,500 to give to your wife for a smartphone, it's almost irresponsible. So
it's almost financially indisciplined.
Exactly. So tumia hapo na kabambe yako. When we pull through.
When you need to say something on the internet, please ask for my phone.
Yes.
I got that.
Sorry, but I don't think a man will tell me that.
But I think
when you collect a cyber.
ask question.
Hey man,
I think that's the reason, maybe COVID-19, but also people argue that first of all, affordability. When we're setting these prices, of course, for these phones and all that, should we also take into consideration the pocket, the pocket friendliness, maybe something that can be affordable to me.
I think they do that already.
They do that. And of course, a full thread to that interview can be found on our social media platforms, on YouTube, Koilib TV, and on Facebook, Koilib TV. Befriend Us Kenya is a charitable organization focusing on suicide prevention by offering free emotional support to those who may be in distress and therefore in danger of dying by suicide, as well as creating awareness on suicide within communities. Their mission is to provide confidential emotional support for people who are experiencing feelings of distress or despair, and through focus programs they create awareness aimed at preventing suicide. So to every young person dealing with suicidal thoughts, mental trouble, abuse, bereavement, or depression, you have a friend right now and forever. The Aga Khan Foundation is here for the youth at the coast and the north of Kenya. The foundation is working very, very closely with the newly created National Council for Nomadic Education in Kenya to tackle the complex array of problems faced by the youth in Lamu, Garissa, and Mandera counties. The goal of this initiative is to provide opportunities for 16,000 vulnerable young men and women aged between 15 and 35, which will further support 25,000 members of their families and the wider community.
Niliingia hapa 05, nikaanza vibarua sababu nilikuja na hii course ya salon, but ya kukuwa na watu wanaweza tengenezwa nywele. Nikaanza vibarua, hivyo nikaanza salon kidogo, ikainuka mpaka 2014, ikawa ni ya kama 200,000, ikachomeka wakati wa Mpeketoni attack. Hapo nikavujika moyo, nikarudi kwetu Nairobi. Lakini nikakaa kurudi ndio tukaanza kuitwa FTC na Aga Khan Foundation wakiwa wameshikana na Kiunga Youth Bunge, learn about business, wakatutia moyo sana sababu tulikuwa wengi wenye waliathirika. Aga Khan Foundation tulipoanza masomo, kitu cha kwanza tulilearn about business, wakatuambia tunaweza tukashikana vikundi kama waathiriwa, na tukajiunga na kikundi tulikuwa tunajiita Jikaze. Tukafundishwa venye tunaweza kuwa tuna save pesa, tembo banking, tukaanza kusave tembo banking, tukawa tunakopeshana, tunainuana kwa biashara, tukawa tuna save kwa banki, at least ndio sababu tuliambiwa lazima account yetu iwe active. Tukaanza mirandi, wakatufundisha mambo ya mirandi. Nilipopata pesa kidogo nikaanza tena. Ndio nikaanza na kufundisha. Sasa niko na kikundi cha pili kinajiita Bright Star na ni ya youth.
Kumbuka pia shirika la Aga Khan limeweza kuwapa kipaumbele kuhakikisha vijana wanapata vifaa za kuwawezesha kufanya kazi. Kupitia mpango huu, vijana wengi wameweza kujiajiri kupitia mafunzo mbalimbali ambazo wamepata kama vile upambaji, ujenzi, fundi gari. Kumbuka, shirika la Aga Khan linafanya kazi na mashirika tofauti ikiwemo TVETs, Polytechnics na mengine mengi.
Initially, when I came in 2016, I had 16 trainees in the whole institution. And that's when the first meeting with the Aga Khan Foundation came to the institution, and we had a very lengthy discussion, and they promised to help us give quality and access education to the youth. So when we started partnering with them officially in 2017, we have seen the number growing. From 17, now we are over 800 trainees, which is above 1,000%. We appreciate the efforts they have done to us by giving us equipment in the area of electrical department, beauty therapy, and fashion design. We have had a very big impact. I've got 2 cases in beauty therapy who have happened to open their own workshops in Mpeketoni. Others have been employed in Malindi. Most of our fundis from Mpeketoni are our products.
Aga Khan, when we have started this collaboration, we have agreed to collaborate and partner in 2 major areas: provision of equipment, tools, and learning materials. That was the biggest challenges we were facing as a institution. Initially, before, the rate of dropout was very high as compared today. The rate of graduates, the completion rate, has increased from where it was, that was 20% to 42%.
The strategy that we have used to engage youth, for supporting the youth, for me has been very effective because it's created trust between the support that we had planned with the government. So when we got a buy-in from the youth-led organization, then it was easy for them and us to reach as many youth as we had anticipated during the design of this program. So it is critical for us to continue supporting youth to organize themselves into a kind of purposeful, meaningful groups and ensure that their capacity is well built for them to reach out to many youth as possible.
President Kenyatta has called upon the International Finance Corporation, also known as IFC, and the World Bank to provide more support to the private sector to spur Kenya's economic growth. The president said that IFC has the potential to help in making Kenya a lucrative investment hub through supporting the private sector in implementing the government's Big Four agenda. The head of state appreciated the role IFC has been playing in supporting the Kenyan's private sector, noting that the Big Four agenda has opened even more opportunities for increased collaboration through the country's public-private partnership program. We really do understand that the private sector is the nation's engine, generating more than 90% of the current jobs and funding 60% of all the investments and providing more than 80% of the government's annual revenue. From State House Nairobi, we take a very short breather here on this on Friday. When we come back, we have much more. On the other hand, don't go too far.
This is News on Friday.
Welcome back. This is News on Friday, live at the Koilib TV studios here in Njoro, Egerton University, Kenya. I'm Caleb Koyo. Let's continue with the broadcast. Are you a young person with unbeatable passion for cooking? Do you find joy in seeing people enjoying the meals that you prepare? Well, with the ever-growing demand for chefs in Kenya and abroad, you might just find yourself a career along that line. For the last 12 years, Jones Sabo has been preparing and serving food. Her story is so empowering that the entire News on Friday team had to pitch camp at the Koilib Cafe just the other day to talk to her. Take a look. Listen, around 2 million young people right now in the sub-Saharan continent, either directly or indirectly, they are involved in the food business. But this is a very good business and it's a very good opportunity, especially for our GDP, which has to grow at the end of the day. So if you want to really go from 0 to 100 and make it big as far as this business is concerned, then this feature that we're doing right now on News on Friday concerns you pretty well. We're going to talk to Jones from the Koilib Cafe and we're going to understand how much important this business is as far as the economy discussion is concerned. And for the young person watching who really wants to venture into this business, you're going to learn a few things as well. So I'm the once amazing, always amazing Caleb Koyo. Let's get cooking now. Let's start this conversation. So Jones, tumekutembelea. Of course mtu akisikia cafe anakumbuka coffee and all that.
Yes.
Wewe ndio mtaalamu kabisa bwana. Hii coffee ilianza lini na nini kabisa iko hapa?
Ni kweli kabisa ukisikia jina cafe unajua ni kahawa inakuja kwa akili.
Okay.
And the coffee started long time ago according to the history in the 19th century. That was around 1671. And we are being told that coffee originally started in Ethiopia, and it was discovered by a goat herder, somebody who used to take care of goats. Alikuwa anachunga mbuzi.
Ndio alidiscover coffee.
Unajua mbuzi ni wanyama wa maajabu sana. Mbuzi wanapenda kukula miti nini. Sasa huyu akashangaa kwa nini mbuzi akikula hii kitu inakuwa hivi. Akaenda kufanya uchunguzi wake, akakuta hii kitu iko na caffeine, na alipojaribu akasikia hii kitu ni tamu kwa mwanadamu.
Sasa huyo hapo tu kabisa invention ikaanza.
Hapo ndio invention ikaanza, sasa ndio research zikaanza na ikakuwa mpaka coffee ikakuja ikapatikana ni kahawa. Ni kinywaji kinachotumika na mwanadamu.
kutokea kwa mtu ambaye anachunga mbuzi.
Yes, alikuwa anaitwa Kaldi.
Kaldi.
Yes, from Ethiopia.
Karibu aitwe Caleb.
Karibu aitwe Caleb.
So listen, of course, umekuwa hapa, that's a very nice history by the way. Things begin from somewhere. Na of course, just ile song ya toka chini kwenda juu. Kwa leo sisi tunaenjoy kitu, lakini mtu ambaye anachunga mbuzi ndo alikuja na of course the first invention, which is really good. Over time kumekuwa na of course more inventions coming in, inasaidia the whole entire business kukua and all that. So away from kukua na coffee kwenye cafe, what else is here? Sababu hiyo ndo the general thing ambayo watu wako nayo kwa akili.
Okay, apart from having coffee in a cafe, a cafe is also more of a restaurant that is. So food is also offered at the restaurant. We have got drinks at the restaurant. Some restaurants offer both hard and soft drinks. But ours does offer soft drinks only because of reasons known to ourselves. Yes.
So kuna masoft peke yake hapa.
Yes, kwa leo niko na masoft.
Nakubali.
Yes.
Endelea kukuwa na masoft. Sasa of course umesema hapo watu ni kama chakula tu. 21st century right now, venye nimesema hapo kwenye intro, a lot of things zimefanyika. The urban life is crazy right now. People just order food on phone and all that. Hiyo imesaidia industry yenyewe kukua, ama pengine unaona kabisa kwamba pressure ambayo imeleta imefanya hata quality ya chakula ambayo tunapika kwenye cafe imeenda chini?
Okay, actually sisi naweza sema imetusaidia, especially wakati janga la COVID-19 ilikuja. Ilianza kukua ni vigumu kupata chakula kwa restaurant ama kwa cafe that is. But ikaanza kukua watu ibidi waanze kufikiria jinsi ya kutafuta wateja wao ili hizi cafe zisikufe kabisa kwa sababu itaua vitu mingi sana. So tukakuja kukua na vile unaweza pata through online. Yes. Tuko na websites ambazo I believe kila hoteli ama kila cafe iko na nini yao ya kupata. Hata sisi hapa kweli tuko na cafe.kweli.org. Go online, Google, make your order.
cafe.kweli.org.
Yes.
Sema unajua sasa inabidi tufanye vitu fulani special bana. Usafi ni kitu ya maana sana.
Kabisa.
Kwa biashara yetu ya chakula na hizo zote. Unafikanga hapa saa ngapi na ukifika waga unaanza na nini sana? I want to assume ni usafi unaanza nayo kwanza.
Yes. Mimi kawaida nafika hapa saa moja unusu. Ninaanza na usafi. Hapa ndani kwa cafe, alafu ninaenda pia pele penye wateja wanaketi. Because the whole room has to be clean. Hygiene is very important, especially when it comes to food handling. Because there are a lot of issues when you mishandle food, a lot of things go bad. So we have to be very careful when handling food.
So must kwanza hygiene iwe sawa.
Yes, hakikisha vyombo vyako viko safi. Unapotengenezea chakula pako pasafi, wateja wanapokaa ni pasafi pia. Kila kitu lazima kikue neat.
Kila kitu kuwe neat.
Yes.
Unajua mimi wakati mimi nakuwa mimi mtoto mdogo nilikuwa najichocha sana mimi mpishi. Lakini the only thing I could cook ni chai alafu mchele. Lakini sometimes pia chai yenye nilikuwa napika chai inachomeka sana.
Unachoma chai?
Vibaya sana. Chai lazima ichomeke. Si mimi ni mwanaume. Najua kuna vijana ambao wana watch right now wanataka sana kuingia kwenye biashara ya of course kwa cafe na kupika and all that stuff. Ni ngumu ama ni rahisi? Na nini mtu anafaa afanye at the beginning? Pengine unaweza kuambia wewe ulianzaje? Uliamwaje sasa hii ndio kitu ambacho unafanya?
Mimi naweza sema kwanza biashara ya cafe ni kama kuanzisha biashara nyingine yoyote. Kinachohitajika tu ni your mentality. What do you want to do? Did you think to do about it? And then kuna processes, kuna procedures ambazo zitakuelekeza. And I believe in every business lazima kuwe na kitu uliona mahali kama mentor, something that motivated you then so that you became to start the business.
Mentor wako alikuwa nani wewe?
Yes.
Mentor wako, because umeongelea mentor hapo. Ilikuwa jamaa wewe kama mimi tumegrow up bila mentors. Wewe jitafutia hapo ukiendelea.
Mimi kwanza kabisa naweza sema mentor wa kwanza alikuwa ni mama yangu. My mom used to cook for us very nice foods using natural ingredients. Kumbuka hizo siku hakuwa na vitu kama roiko, tukua na nini, just natural, na chakula kilikuwa kitamu. Mafuta tu ya kawaida, chumvi, mafuta. Na chakula kilikuwa kitamu. So from there mimi nikaanza katika hizo wakati pia tulikuwa unapelekwa pengine ka out kidogo, unaenda unakula. Sasa mimi nilikuwa natamani kujua sana hii chakula hoteli, what's the difference between a hotel food and the home food, because chakula hoteli generally inakuanga tamu.
Okay.
Yes, sasa hapo ndo nikaanza kujiuliza maswali na katika hali yangu ya masomo kulikuwa na masomo ambayo tulikuwa tunasoma
home studies ama home school.
Tulikuwa sasa za school, not home studies, but school studies. Sana ilikuwa ni subject ya home science. Home science tulikuwa na
pile kichoko kupanguza mkono ile.
Home science tulikuwa na tunajifunza sana jinsi ya kupika. Sasa hapo ndo nilianza kukuwa na ile urge ya kutaka kujua zaidi na kujua zaidi.
Nakubali. Well, I honestly looked up in Batata. I watched that interview on our social media platforms on YouTube, of course, Kweli TV, and as well on Facebook, Kweli TV. We continue with the broadcast. As the third year of the COVID-19 pandemic approaches, classrooms remain fully or partially closed for as many as 647 million schools around the world. Even where schools have been reopened, many students continue to lag behind. It is now very painfully clear that children have learned less during the pandemic. According to World Bank estimates, pandemic-related schools closure could drive up something that is called learning poverty. Many countries have deployed massive stimulus packages in response to health crisis, but as of June 2021, less than 3% of these funds were devoted to education and training sector, and most of these resources were spent in advanced economies. Digital assets can really help us right now. It can serve as a very nice equalizer. Resources must be invested wisely, taking into account countries with poor electrical infrastructure and poor internet connectivity. Access to quality education was uneven before the pandemic, but right now it's even worse. By investing in learning recovery and using technology wisely, it is possible to use the pandemic as an experience and as a catalyst to even improve education for our children. When President Kenyatta issued a temporary ban on scrap metal business a few days ago, the whole nation went into panic. To many families, this has been their only way of life. To the majority of the Kenyan youth, this has been the only way to survive, of course, owing to the tough economic times. So what is scrap metal? And approximately how many youths have been surviving in this business, and how much does it contribute to Kenyans' gross domestic product annually? We filed this report just for you.
This is what President Kenyatta is not happy about. It is because of this that the president issued an immediate temporary ban on scrap metal business in Kenya. This ban has been effective from the 19th of last month and will only be lifted if and when the government puts in place relevant laws that will govern this trade in the Republic. While referring to the recent vandalism of electricity transmission infrastructure, the standard gauge railway and communication mast, President Kenyatta termed the act as an economic sabotage, saying that the government won't tolerate the destruction. The question is, how big is the scrap metal business in Kenya, and what exactly is scrap? Scrap consists of recyclable materials left over from product manufacturing and consumption, such as parts of vehicles, building supplies, and surplus materials, giving it the much-needed monetary value. Scrap metal business in Kenya is one of the most thriving enterprises, giving the Republic around 500 million Kenya shillings annually and directly or indirectly employing more than 800,000 people. With the high cost of living, youth unemployment, and an economy on its deathbed, the mixed reaction from various stakeholders and the cries from the young people who depend on this business for their day-to-day survival is something that should worry the head of state. How soon the ban is lifted depends on whether the president in less than 6 months is going to be able to put in place laws that will govern the sourcing, the trade, and the export of this scrap metal. Caleb Koyo for News on Friday.
And of course, from the scrapped gold, we now take a very short breather here on News on Friday. When we come back, we have sports. Stick with us. assists, tackles, saves, dribbles and goals. Week in, week out, Kenyan female footballers are changing the narratives locally and globally. Whenever they step on the green grass, they play big. On Ballers Profiles this week, we look at some of these female stars, some of these absolute ballers. And today, we start with Cynthia Shilwato. The three-time Kenyan Women Premier League winner was born on the 23rd of July 1999. She is a Kenyan professional footballer who plays as a central attacking midfielder for Spanish Primera Nacional club Lorona. The right-footed attacking midfielder has around 22 caps for the national teams, Harambee Starlets, and 12 national team goals. Before moving to Europe, Shilwato played for the Queens. Shilwato, of course, recently got a call up to the national team around the Starlets ahead of the Starlets fixture against Uganda. Of course, from the sports highlights right there, now we come to the very end of this broadcast. Thank you so much for staying with us. Of course, you can watch News on Friday right here on Kweli TV each and every Friday. And do subscribe to this YouTube channel. Of course, I do like also our other social media platforms. That includes Facebook, and that also includes Instagram. And just so you know, is that you can watch me, or you can listen to me rather, on Kweli Radio each and every day from Monday to Friday, from 7 in the morning East African time to 9 in the morning East African time. I host the breakfast show right there, the biggest breakfast in the world. So you got to tune in and enjoy, of course, some really nice conversation and some really nice information that is actually seeking to empower the youth every single day. I'm the Once Amazing, Always Amazing. Remember, just be amazing. Once amazing, always amazing. Cheers.